Hello everybody. Today is April 26th. The leaving cert is in June. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about glaciation, my favorite thing in the world. Second favorite is money. Glaciation is my favorite because it features one of my favorite movies, The Ice Age. More importantly, glaciation is not a very common leaving cert topic. That's why I'm doing it in today's video. The chapter of glaciation is a really big chapter, so I'm only going to be covering the key topics. The Ice Age was over 2 million years ago and ended roughly around 10,000 years ago. Ice back then was trending, so over 30% of the world was covered in ice. Nowadays, only 10% of the world is covered in ice. Ice builds up from longer and colder winters and shorter summers, which gives less time for snow to melt. Which makes sense because the more it snows and the less sun there is to melt it, there will be more snow. Longer winters and shorter summers, however, are not a coincidence or a chance. They are actually part of the Milankovitch cycles. These cycles occur every 40 to 90,000 years. It's when the Earth's usual rotational axis changes. So the Earth might start to rotate further away from the Sun or closer to the Sun. When an ice age occurs, the Earth rotates slightly further away from the Sun. This results in a heavier ice buildup. A snowline is a good example of ice buildup. Ice will typically begin to build up in higher areas, so mountains, and gradually it'll move lower and lower downhill. The snowline is where Iceland and non-Iceland border. A moving snowline is a result of more and more ice buildup over time. And by move I mean it covers more and more area with ice. How does this much ice buildup occur, you may ask? First, snow falls. Snow falls in loose individual flakes and it begins to layer and compress. The pressures of the overlying layers of snow compress the loose snowflakes into a hard firn. Firn is basically a snow block. Eventually layers of firn will build up. And once again, the pressure of the overlying layer will eventually compress the layer underneath. The pressure of these layers releases any air in the firn and turn it into a compact ice. Another masterpiece the Ice Age brought us was glaciers. Glaciers were like Apple earpods, which are apparently the most popular item of all time according to Google. One type of glacier is the Kirk Glacier. The word Kirk is actually Latin for circular arena. They occur high up on mountains and are usually the root point for other types of glaciers. As a glacier begins to expand, it creates a different type of glacier called a valley glacier. A Kirk will begin to expand due to glacier erosion. I'll explain this later on in the video. A valley glacier looks like this and is also called a U-shaped valley. They are the result of heavy glacier buildup moving downhill. As the valley glacier expands, it eventually reaches low land. The ice buildup will form a sort of puddle shape on a relatively flat surface. These are called Piedmont glaciers. 91% of Antarctica is covered by glaciers. Glaciers will grow because of accumulation and shrink due to ablation. Accumulation is the gradual buildup of something, and ablation is a process that results in the loss of a mass from a body of ice. Let's talk about the movement of glacial ice. Sometimes ice buildup will become so heavy that it will begin to move downhill. Gravity will cause the glacier to move down very slowly. For example, a basal slip. Occasionally, the layer between the bedrock and the ice will begin to melt slightly and create water. Water removes the sturdiness of the glacier and allows it to slide. Abrasion is the result of the friction between the ice and the bedrock. As the ice moves forward, the rock particles it contains scrape off the bedrock. In conclusion, abrasion is when I hit one rock against each other and one breaks. Plucking is also a form of glacial erosion. Any rock that gets stuck in the glacier eventually snaps as the glacier moves forward. The overlying force of the glacier moving downhill breaks any rock connecting it to the bedrock. Freeze-thaw action is also a part of erosion in mountainous areas. Overall, ice builds up in small cracks of a mountain rock. Daytime causes the ice to melt even just a little bit and turn into water. As nighttime falls, the water refreezes and contracts, and this cycle eventually pushes the rock apart and weakens it. The rock eventually splits and falls down the mountain as scree. Scree is small rock particles and chippings that fall down the mountain. Scree is then used in abrasion because, like I said, abrasion is when I hit rock against other rock. Glaciation forms some really cool landforms. I encourage everyone to research it a little bit, even if there is a low chance of it appearing on the Leaving Cert. Anyway, I wish everybody luck with the Leaving Cert. Don't cry too much, and goodbye. I hope I was able to help someone. Bye.